starts the martial arts. This or that show. Let's go!
Yo! Good morning, everyone. Fernando Rivera Jr. here. Trial and error. It is what it is. This is it. I made up my mind. You know, I did politics a little over a year, and I was always angry about this or that, coincidentally. But then yesterday I did a show on martial arts, and I got a call from a fellow Kempo brother, Slate Phillips. Thanks for that honor. And I decided this is what it's going to be about, because it's what I know. Martial arts is my life. I've been in martial arts since the age of 9, 8, 9, maybe 10. I don't remember. I started with Taekwondo. I cried to my dad, put me in martial arts. Yeah. Because of all the Kung Fu movies. Remember, Gen Xers, I'm 55 this year. Back in the day, I don't know if it was all over the world, all over the U.S., but I know in Connecticut there was a show on the weekends called Kung Fu Theater in the 80s. And every weekend, it was like looking forward to it. I'm going to kill you with the mouths and shit. And I always wanted to be a martial artist. And now I am. I've been a martial artist since the age of 8, 9, or 10. I forget, because it's a long time ago. So I have an idea what I'm talking about. More than your average show. So welcome to the show. Streaming live. Starting over. No politics. F that shit. It is what it is. So from now on, this is what it's going to be about. If you have any questions, please write me. Please subscribe. Please follow. Please comment. Please like. What I plan to do is talk martial arts. Talk bullshit. McDojos. There's a channel called McDojo, which I'll be talking about here and there. I like to do interviews here and there. So if you're a fellow Kempoist or a martial artist that owns a school or whatever it may be, train out of your garage, and you want to talk, write me. You have some videos you want to share and we can talk about what you teach, let me know. We will talk about that. You send them to me first, and then we will go over that. So this is what's going to happen. It is what it is. I wasn't going to come on today because I was working on this, and I said, you know what? Let me just take a day or two to get this together and then start this. But I decided last night. You know what I'm saying? I said, this is what I'm going to do, because the conversation I had with that Kempo brother, Slate, had me thinking. I was like, you know what? I got more out of that show yesterday from people, and not a lot, but a few comments, and more people viewed me on PC Book than anywhere else. I was like, shit, you know what? I have a lot of followers on PC Book, and 90% of them are martial artists. So why not? That's what I am. I'm a martial artist. I'm a lifelong martial artist, a Kempoist, even though I've taken everything. I'm a retired professional MMA fighter. Got my ass kicked more than anything. But I had fun getting punched in the face. Got my nose broken 5, 6 times. A few other injuries. Broken hand. But it is what it is. Anyway, what I want to talk about today. Again, Kempo. I had a guy say, oh, what about Algerian or whatever it was? I apologize. I don't mean to call you out. But I was talking about American Kempo. And I'll talk about American Kempo today. You want to talk about your martial art? Write me. And we'll talk about that and whatever you want to talk about. But as I would say, it is what it is. So welcome to the show. Martial arts, this or that. Like the intro. Yeah, I worked on that this morning. I'm talented. I'm just saying. Anyway, Form 6. Anybody has any comments? Not yet? Okay. Just to show you, a couple years ago, I wrote, there's a Kempo brother, Mr. Angelo Colato. To me, I believe he is one of the best form guys out there. You know what I'm saying? And he said, send me your forum video and I'll tell you, I'll critique or I'll give you pointers, this and that. And I never did. But I posted a couple, when I finally opened my school a while after that, I did a video on Form 6. And I'll be honest, it ain't perfect. I don't know what it is. The camera, back then when I had the school, got in front of a camera and it was like, oh, shit. So it is what it is. But before I get to me doing Kempo 6, I'm going to show you Angel Colato, because Angel Colato is the shit at doing forms. Let me get to that. I believe this is the one. There's other videos, but this one I think is probably one of the most recent ones. Angel Colato. Form 6. get out of here. Okay. American Kempo, Ed Parker Kempo, Form 6 is the 6th form. It's actually more than that because there's Form 1, long Form 1. Form 2, long Form 2. Short 3, long 3. There's 4. I didn't, there are schools who teach short 4, long 4. Honestly, I got my black belt over 25 years ago, so don't remember if I even knew a short 4, but there's a long 4. And apparently, if you know your Kempo 4, long Form 4, or Form 4, is the heart of American Kempo. Very long. But, as I was talking to Slate Phillips yesterday, I was telling him when I was ranking in Kempo, I was looking forward to 3, the short 3, and he says he doesn't like long 3. I can see why. But 3 was the first kata. Those of you who watch Cobra Kai, it's a kata. But we call them forms because it's Americanized, American Kempo. And it was the first form, kata, that did techniques, that actually involved techniques, even though there were 2 or 3 in the form that you learn after or during. But still, by the time you got to it, you're like, oh, I know this. But Form 4, long story. When I took my black belt 25, 30 years ago, my instructor, Patrick, was like, this is what you're going to do. And as I told Slate, I worked for my instructor at an insurance company that was connected to the karate school. So I was there 5-6 days a week. Sometimes Patrick would get a little bored or be dead. He would lock the door and say, come on, Butterfly. And he would take my hand and pull me into the school and teach me more. So when I was, about to get my black belt, testing for it, he said, this is what I want you to do for 90 days. It's part of the test. I want you to do everything, all the techniques, all the forms, for 90 days straight. And then I'll test you. I said, okay, fine, let's do it. So in those 90 days, I was a fighter at the time, MMA fighter. I had a fight, so I missed a day or 2. So I had to start 90 days over. We're at 5-6 months in. After the second 90 days set, Patrick goes to me, so, have you been doing everything you know for the 9 days? I'm like, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, what have you been doing? Well, I've done 154 techniques and up to Form 4. And he was like, no, Butterfly. What do you know? I was like, well, I know 5 and 6, and I know most of the extensions. He was like, yeah, Butterfly, you have to do everything you know. Listen to the words. So I have to start 90 days over. So for close to 9 months, I was doing every technique, 154 techniques, 96 extensions, all the way up to Form 6 for 90 more days. Yeah. So on the 90th day, the 3rd time, he goes, okay, we're going to test. Put a camera. All the students were watching and their parents. There was other kids that got tested that day, and I was the last. He was like, you ready, Fernando? I said, yes, sir. Do Form 4, long 4. I did long 4, perfection, awesome. Looked at me and said, congratulations, you're now a black belt. I was like, what? Hey, what are you doing? And he was like, he just laughed at me and said, Butterfly, you and I work together and you train with me every single day. I see you training every single day. There's no reason in hell I doubt you know what you're doing. You know your stuff. So why would I sit here and test you and all that? You look good. Thanks. I was like, oh, God. But anyway, it was an honor. Fun times. That was Angel Clado Form 6. That, to me, is one of my favorite forms. It's the first form, kata, that includes self-defense techniques for weapons. Their weapon is self-defense techniques against a knife, gun, and a stick. Pretty cool. I was looking forward to learning 6. So here is, let me swap this out. Let me see. First, I got to do this. Then I got to do that. Replace. I believe this is it. Nope, not that one. All right. Critique all you want. It's not perfect. I know. Because as I said, nerves and shit. I messed up. It's probably the 5th, 6th take, whatever it may be. But I said, screw it. I'm going to leave this one as it is. Critique all you want. It's not perfect, but whatever. Check it out. This is me doing Form 6. Have fun. Enjoy! All right. Get out of here, Fernando. How do I get out of here? As I said, not perfect. I know. Critique all you want. Hold on a second. Somebody commented. Oh, shit. True. What would make it perfect? Honestly, stances. Aaron! What's going on, Aaron? I haven't talked to you in a while. Stances. 1. My stances were off. 3 of the techniques. I'm not going to go off the bat right now because I don't remember. It's been a while. But 3 of the techniques were done wrong. I believe one of them was reading Lance. I had the hand wrong, I believe, or I attacked another part of the body that I shouldn't have instead of the eyes or whatever. It was one of the rod techniques, one of the gun techniques towards the end. I got that wrong. I think it was the left side or the right side. I forgot what it was. There's a few other things. Listen, I'm a perfectionist, all right? I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? After I did it, I said, screw it, I'm going to put it out. I've seen worse. But, yeah, there's a few more things that I think I could have done better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. It's Form 6. How many people got videos out there? Not a lot. You probably can count them on both hands. How many people got Form 6 out there? Maybe more. I don't know. Some of them suck. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But it depends on the instructor. My instructor was an amazing instructor, old Vietnam vet. Was teaching over 30 years. Never wore a rank. Had his belt torn and faded and almost white again. He used to always say, look, my belt's trying to be white again. You already know. Anyway, thanks for commenting, Aaron. It's been a long time since I talked to you. But yeah, that's what I'm saying now. Just change the subject. Not really. This is, I mentioned yesterday, this website I used to have, a WordPress blog. It was a blog I had. Yeah, mistakes are great teachers. Body can know more than the mind. 100%. Still, I'm a perfectionist. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I want it to look like, I want it to be like, when I do it, it's like, oh my God, my hairs. That was the shit. You know, whatever. Anyway, I'm just like that. Come on, I'm old. So anyway, my blog from years ago is a WordPress, EP Camp Wax WordPress. There's this article I wrote on there. I lost access to this. Let's be real. The email I had when I started it doesn't exist anymore. And for some reason I had to start all over. So I just left it as is. But there is something out of this. That's a Kempo. 10 laws of Kempo. Let me make sure I get this right. All right. First, I got to get rid. Let me go here. Then I got to replace this. It's like I'm a rookie here. Here we go. Check it out. EPKX, Eclectic Path. Kempo X. As I've said yesterday, the X doesn't stand for anything specific other than back in the day or even till now when people name their martial art, they say, John Doe, Kempo Karate, or I don't want to mention the names of putting, Larry Tatum, whatever. This is just X. I don't want to put my name to it, so I put an X. Like back in the day when people used to sign with an X. That's why. It's my patch. I designed it. But there's an article I wrote on there, and I actually copied. Let me go there. 10 Kempo laws. This is kind of small. Give me a second. Because I'm blind. All right. Check it out. Inside Kung Fu, the ultimate in martial arts coverage. Apparently, it's an old one. All right. Okay. 2011, and one of two magazines that I grew up reading and looking through religiously. The other one was Black Belt Magazine. Although I agree and follow 96% of these, I have my small issues I would slightly change, but I think they are just enough to live by as a true Kempoist. Pick isn't that issue. I don't really remember writing this. But anyway, here we go. Kempo law number 1. The circle and the line. The first law of Kempo states that when your opponent charges straight in and attacks, you should use your feet to move your body along a circular path. You should also consider moving your arms in a circular pattern to deflect the oncoming force. When your opponent attacks you in a circular fashion, however, you should respond with a fast linear attack along a straight line from your weapon to his target. Just as a circle can overcome the line can overcome the circle. This is old, but I thought I'd read them. This is pretty interesting. I still can't see it. I'm blind as shit. Hold on a second. Let me put it closer. I don't have my glasses. Kempo law number 2, strike first. The principle has several meanings. First, it indicates that Kempo is primarily a striking art. 70% hands and 30% feet is the classical breakdown, but you can change the proportion according to the circumstances or your body build. The second meaning is that if a confrontation is inevitable, a thug is climbing through your bathroom window at 2 o'clock in the morning and he starts swinging a baseball bat. You should not wait for the aggressor to attack first. You need to hit him first with a foot, a fist, an elbow, or a knee. You also need to hit hard and hit continuously until he is subdued. The Kempo curriculum also includes numerous grappling and throwing techniques, but research has shown they are used in less than 25% of the encounters practitioners have found themselves in, and they are ineffective against multiple attackers. In fact, I actually have another story in the same website that says, is BJJ good for self-defense? I won't get into it because I love BJJ. Let me see, where is it? Because because grappling uses 4 times as much strength and energy as striking does. It has been deemed a last resort suitable for use only if your opponent penetrates your first and second lines of defense, your feet and fists, respectively. Adds. Kempo law number 3, multiple strikes. Kempo is different than any martial arts styles in that it teaches you to strike first and strike often in rapid succession. High, low, straight in, and a long circular path. While unleashing such rapid-fire strikes, it becomes difficult to shout in conjunction with each one. In fact, therefore, you should forget about issuing a ki with each blow. In fact, doing so means you are expending. Your first and second strikes should be designed to stun, distract, and slow your opponent. Your third and, if necessary, fourth strikes are the power blows. Remember the Kempo maximum. First set your opponent up, then take him out. As my instructor used to always say, I teach you to hurt people that are trying to hurt you and make sure they don't get up. I'm just saying. Kempo law number 4, targets. If you had to punch a hole through a wall, would you rather hit a half-inch sheet rock or a 2x4 stud? The answer is obvious, and it's also why Kempo advocates striking soft targets. No one ever broke his knuckle punching an attacker's temple. that whenever featured his instep kicking an attacker's groin, and no one ever injured his knife hand striking an attacker's throat. In Japan, the makiwara board is used to toughen the hands. And in Thailand, Muay Thai fighters harden their shins by kicking banana trees. Kempo is different in that it teaches the path of least resistance and least pain, precisely targeting the temple, face, nose, neck, solar plexus, stomach, groin, and floating ribs is superior to simply pummeling away on random parts of the aggressor's body. Kempo law number 5. There are more. Kempo's mandate to kick low is based on logic. A roundhouse kick and spinning reverse crescent kick to the head may be flashy and impressive. I took Taekwondo 10 years. I can actually do those kicks. But such maneuvers take longer to execute because your leg has to travel further. They also expose your groin to your opponent's kick because kicking high requires a superior balance and focus. You should practice your leg techniques high, but deliver them low for self-defense. Furthermore, kicking low to the legs, executing a pillar attack, can break your opponent's balance and his leg. Kempo law number 6, no block. Kempo emphasizes economy of movement and economy of time. Hence, its no block principle teaches that to avoid getting struck by a punch or kick, you should move your body out of harm's way. Obvious. The most advanced defense taught in the martial arts, it was perhaps best expressed by the old Shaolin priest in the Kung Fu television series. Avoid rather than check. Check rather than block. Block rather than strike. Strike rather than hurt. Hurt rather than maim. Maim rather than kill. For all life is precious. Strategically, a block is a wasted move because it does not stop your opponent from attacking again with his free limb. Sorry, I'm blind. It is much better to move yourself out of the way of his punch or kick, simultaneously counterattack. This way of fighting is reserved for brown belts and above. However, because it requires a higher level of skill to employ correctly and a significant amount of sparring experience to avoid the tendency to allow your feet to stick to the ground during the crisis your brain senses, the non-block principle does not mean blocking plays no part in fighting. If you were standing in a corner with no way out and an assailant charged with a club, you would have to block his attack. That's why Kempo teaches 8 distinct blocking systems along with dozens of traps, yet they all lead to the same maxim. The best block of all is no block at all. My opinion in that, it might get to the next, because I haven't read these laws in a long time. My instructors used to always say, every block is a strike. You make sense of that. Every strike can be a block. Does that make sense? Most of you Kempoists are like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Because, yeah, our block isn't just an inside block. And, oh, I blocked it. No, it's a strike. I'm hurting your hand trying to hit me. I mean, I have to do anything else if you're a wuss. Just saying. Kempo law number 7, yielding and redirection. Yielding and redirecting are most exemplified. The symbol of yin and yang, soft and hard. When your opponent attacks hard, you should counterattack soft. If he is weaker than you or attacks soft, you should counterattack hard to end the encounter quickly and directly. Aikido includes many techniques that rely on the same principles of yielding and redirection. In most karate systems, however, blocking is extremely hard and may injure not only the attacker but also the blocker. For the most part, Kempo does not adhere to this concept of block as a strike. Instead, which it does, I don't agree to that. I think it is. Whatever. Instead, it teaches you to block soft and strike hard. If redirecting is also prominent importance, many artists teach their practitioners to use a downward block to stop a front kick, resulting in the dense hammer fist being slammed and the attacker's instep. But such an impact can break the blocking hand or arm. Kempo teaches that it is preferably parry your opponent's leg. Okay, I get it. Okay, just smack me around. I get it. Not all blocks or strikes, but most of them. I'm just saying. How many people throw kicks? People who don't know how to throw kicks. Kempo law number 8, more mobility. Mobility may be the easiest Kempo principle to understand. It holds that a moving target is harder to hit than a stationary one. As basic as that sounds. Oh, where is that? Oh, sorry. As basic as that sounds, many martial artists fail to implement it. Kempo teaches that there are 3 types of fighters: the statue, who has little mobility and will not retreat. The runner who has to be chased around the ring, and the stream roller who just keeps coming at you. If you are any of these, be careful because you are predictable and can thus be defeated. To transcend mediocrity, you must mix things up and no matter what, keep moving. If your stance is upright and your movement is good, you will be able to put yourself in a superior position relative to your opponent. I am reading a lot. Hold on a second. Yeah. All right, here we go. Kempo law number 9, flexibility. The law of flexibility is the law of survival. Unique in that it adapts to your build, personality, and spirit. If you stand 4 feet 10 inches tall, it makes little sense for you to focus on kicking when your greatest strengths may be mobility and quickness. If you are a 110-pound woman, it makes little sense for you to grapple with a 230-pound assailant. The old cup masters show their wisdom when they proclaim that in a fight for your life, you should use what you know best and forget about the sanctity of the style. Even every practitioner has different attributes that can make him or her be effective. A tall person with long legs may have an advantage with kicking. A short person may have an advantage with his hands, and a heavy person may have an advantage in grappling. The law of flexibility allows them to develop their own repertoire of techniques within Kempo. Kempo law number 10. I'm reading a lot, sorry. Deal with me. The final principle of Kempo is composed of 2 essential components, the internal and the external. A rabid dog may pose a formidable threat, but it poses only to the external component of the warrior spirit inside. The animal is not thinking to have a complete warrior spirit. You must be ferocious on the outside, but calm and tranquil on the inside. Samurai warriors used to say that any day is a good day to die. That did not mean they sought death. On the contrary, they wanted to preserve life, especially their own. But they knew that if they went into battle with fear in their heart, they could die or sustain a serious injury. They knew that only by embracing and accepting death, they could focus everything on the physical task at hand. Defeating the enemy, your kiai, facial expression, stance, and on-guard positions must all work in unison, following the principles of yin and yang. You should be hard on the outside, and soft on the inside. When used in this way, warrior spirit can only be more important than physical skill. Blessed be, stay safe. That was a lot. I forgot how long that was. But anyway, I hope you Kempoists bore with me or bared with me reading that shit because it was long. But anyway, I had fun. As I said, fellow Kempoists on Facebook, YouTube, wherever it may be, if you watch my show, you want to talk, let me know. Write me. You have some material you could share, send it to me. We'll talk about it. Techniques, forms, whatever it is. I'm a little rusty, but doesn't mean I don't know shit. I know enough. Trust me. 40 freaking years of my life into martial arts. So trust me, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, Aaron. Thanks for commenting. I'm very good talking to you, even though it was just chatting. But keep it real. Stay solid, everyone. You already know. Love you. Please like, share, comment. As I said, my plan, as this show grows, I will be interviewing, talking, chatting it up with other Kempoists. I want to talk about a lot of people, fellow Kempoists or martial artists that I want to talk on here. So it'll be interesting. Also, as the show grows and monetarily it gets better for me, I'll be honest, I want to travel. I want to travel to your school or someone's school, anyone that's watching the show. Video my ass getting kicked at your location, and we'll talk about it. So let's talk. Let's get together. Let's chat Kempo or martial arts. Because it's my life. It's my passion. It really is. Those that know me long enough know. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Love you. You already know. Full salute. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet, but I know it's something. And I forgot to put the outro. This is live. I like to go live. I don't like doing the taping. So, this is a good time for me for now. But as I said, as the show progresses, I want to be seeing you. I'm just saying, write me. Let me know what's up. So we can get this together. Get this rolling. Have fun. You already know. Oos. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. And as I always say, laters!
Thanks for watching. Don't forget.